Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm coming back with. Alright, yo, I'm coming back with another video to talk about why it's important to be strong physically, mentally, and also be dominant both physically and mentally. And this is coming from a person who's 5'10", about a buck 70, so I'm not the biggest, most hulking figure, but I have some muscles, I have some weight, and I can be physical if I need to. So first and foremost, being strong and physically dominant gives you a lot of confidence, and confidence is one of the biggest keys to being able to build a great kingdom and having great people around you. When you're confident, I mean, obviously, one of the sexiest things to women is confidence. So I mean, if you want more girls, it'll help you in that way, but that's not really important. What's more important about being physically and mentally dominant and strong is that it allows you to have confidence in yourself in any situation you get put in so that you can be sure of yourself, continue to persist, and be disciplined. So I think being physically strong and dominant is very important for every man and every woman because then it actually helps you believe in yourself, love yourself, care about yourself. And a lot of people will tell you when they started working out, when they started doing all these things that actually made them stronger mentally and physically, they just had a different outlook on the world and what they saw around them, right? So the second thing that also goes back to an ego based thing, but is very important when it comes to being physically strong and mentally strong, is it helps you garnish respect. People can see someone who's strong, and the conversation is just a little bit different. If people feel like you're mentally weak, if people feel like you're physically weak, they're not going to give you a certain level of respect because they know they can intimidate you, which is actually part of number three, but I'll hold off on that. When people know that you're able to physically take care of yourself, you're mentally able to take care of yourself, and you're willing to speak on and physically react to whatever situation you're brought into, people tend to feel better about giving you respect and actually holding that level of respect. I'll give you an example for myself. Back when I was vegan, I was down to maybe a buck 35, skinny, frail, damn near malnourished, and I also wasn't mentally strong. I remember people distinctly would say out of line, out of pocket jokes, trying to cover it up as a joke, but it was really them disrespecting me in a type of way that I didn't like. And I'd even voice my opinion and be like, yo, you need to not say that. I don't fuck with that. Da 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 da. And they'd look at me like I was stupid and just still keep saying the same shit. And since I was, one, very small, not very confident in myself, I would just walk away and take the bitch route instead of actually standing up for myself. Now I'm bigger, I'm more confident, I'm stronger, I speak more vibrantly, though my voice does come across as a little bit dull sometimes. People give me a different level of respect. People look at me different. I walk in a room, heads will turn, and people always want to smile, greet me, shake hands. People will come up and give me compliments versus coming up and cracking a weird joke that's somewhat demeaning to me. So it's like by being able to be mentally and physically strong and growing myself physically and mentally, I was able to garnish more respect and have people look at me with more admiration in a sense, which then again boosted my confidence, which then became a cycle. And now we're going to transition into it on a kingdom type level and basis. When you're building a kingdom, by being physically strong, by being mentally strong, it protects you from intimidation so that people don't try and take advantage of you. One of the things that, going back to me being vegan, I noticed is people would be very comfortable asking for things or even just taking my things without asking, saying anything. They just kind of like use and abuse my things and then either give it back or take it and not even think twice about it. But now that I'm bigger, it's always, oh, can I? May I? Are you all right with? People aren't going out of their way to try and intimidate me, use things over me, or try and get around just using respect to communicate with me. And now that I've stepped into that frame and I've gotten bigger, I've gotten mentally stronger, I've learned to speak up for myself a lot more, people give me that certain level of respect and there's no intimidation. And even then, for the people who have tried to intimidate me, it doesn't work. I don't care. I'll look at them like they're retarded, you know? Because if someone wants to fight me, granted, I know I'm not the best fighter in the world, but if you want to fight me, I'll fight. If you want to talk shit, I'll talk shit right back. Your words aren't going to affect me anymore because I'm mentally strong. And your hands ain't going to work on me in the same way because I'm physically stronger. Plus, I train at fighting. So we're going to transition into this next part of how do you become stronger and more dominant to protect yourself from that intimidation, but also get that confidence and that respect you desire. First of all, start lifting weights. Go to the gym. Granted, I love running, and improving your cardio is definitely a good thing. But without actually putting on some mass, putting on some muscle, and actually backing that cardio up, you're still not going to get that same level of respect. Granted, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because I was just looking at a video of like Justin Gaethje out of the ring, or Khabib out of the ring, or Alex Pereira out of the ring. They all look like people that you would think you could just beat up and bully, but they're actually some of the baddest motherfuckers out there. The thing about that though is they still have muscle, they still have strength, and they can still knock you out because they're in the gym. They work at it, they work for it, and you need to go and do that for yourself. So lifting weights, getting stronger, being able to move heavier circles is definitely going to be one thing you need to do to become physically dominant, mentally dominant, because that's going to build your physical and mental strength. But then the next thing I think is just about as important is start fight training. Personally, I go to Crunch Gym and I have about 8 or 9 people who, if I see them in the gym, almost on site, we walk over, we put on our gloves, and we start boxing, or we'll start kickboxing. We throw kicks, we train, we give each other advice and pointers on how to get better. We put in our mouth guards and we go and spar. It's to the point where like now, like I said, I'm not worried about fighting. If you want to, I don't necessarily want to, but I will, because I've practiced enough, I've trained enough to where I don't get scared, I don't get nervous to do that anymore. And that's even with the knowledge that I've already been in fights, right? So in my previous fights, I've been nervous, I've been scared, my heart starts beating super fast, my hands get clammy. Now it's like, oh, all right, I'm going to spar someone. Oh, there's a situation where I might need to fight. All right, cool. And I'm just ready to go. There's no reason for me to feel nervous. There's no reason for me to feel afraid, because it's like I've trained myself. I've put myself in that situation. I've been hit in the face enough to where it's fun to play punch face, quite generally. I've wrestled for years. I've done a little bit of submission training. I box all the time. I know how to throw a kick. So physically, I'm able to protect myself, but that took a lot of mental fortitude and training through actually going and sparring with these people for me to feel confident and ready for that type of life. The next thing is, I believe every person should befriend at least one aggressive person who's willing to tell you the truth and also talk a lot of shit. Because part of being mentally tough and having tough or thick skin, comes from actually having these aggressive people around you who are going to say things that you may necessarily not like, but they're telling the truth and they're pushing you to actually, one, accept truths about yourself that you may not like, but two, also hear it without getting mad, sad, and feeling some type of way. If you can hear, oh, you're fat and you're a fat person, and you laugh it off, you don't care, that's a certain level of mental strength that a lot of people don't have. But also, if you can hear, oh, you're a skinny little bitch, and hit the gym and get bigger, or even laugh it off and know that if there was a fight situation, you could beat their ass, there's, again, a certain level of confidence and mental dominance that happens in that exchange, to the point where now you can feel better about yourself and you don't have to worry about being intimidated or arguing because it's beneath you. Because, one, you've gotten bigger, you've gotten stronger, you know you can fight. And so now, by training your mind, training yourself, by being around these aggressive people, you'll become a little bit more aggressive. But when people are aggressive with you, it won't matter because you're used to it. Last, and I feel like this is obvious for anybody who actually does work out, you got to eat a lot. Personally, I'm struggling to put on weight, gain mass. And it's because I know I don't eat enough, and I've been trying to eat more. Again, like I said, I went from being 135 to now sitting at about 170, 175 on a good day. It takes a lot of food to maintain that, especially with the fact that I do go out and go on runs, I do go on walks, and I do lift a lot of weight. I sweat a lot. So there's a lot of things that I do that take away from how much mass I have on me. So I have to eat a lot to maintain that. And when I get a lot of food in me, when I eat a lot and rest well, my weight starts to go up, my muscles look bigger when I have a pump, and also I just have more energy to go out and spar with the people I spar with. So hopefully this has been a help. When it comes to being physically stronger and more dominant, it's very important to building your kingdom. So you need to learn how to become mentally stronger, physically stronger, learn how to dominate the people around you mentally, though you shouldn't always use that. And you should also be able to physically dominate the people around you to protect yourself from intimidation, which will allow you to have confidence, garnish respect. And there's not many ways to do it. It's really the basics. Learn to fight, fight often, whether in a sparring setting or actual, though I don't advise always getting in physical altercations. Lifting weights, being around aggressive people who would be willing to fight, but also talk a lot of shit, so you're building your mental fortitude, and eating a lot of food to grow. That's all I got right now. Appreciate you tuning in. Stay smart, stay safe. I'll catch you on the next one.